we are continuing my journey on stream through a bunch of important games from my childhood. And of course, that means I definitely need to do a replay of Super Mario Sunshine, because it's actually been a hot minute since I've played this game. And by that I mean like 3 or 4 years at this point. Last time I played it would have been close to when 3D All-Stars came out. This is the 3D All-Stars version, by the way, which has the unfortunate downside of not being legally available anywhere anymore. Thanks, Nintendo. So that complicates things. Sunshine in general is kind of a complicated game, which is probably the reason why I wanted to stream it, to see how I feel about it and share my view of it.
Look at that!
Welcome to the sun-drenched tropical paradise of Isle Delfino. We're so pleased to welcome you to our beautiful home. Come enjoy a natural wonderland to which we've added the world's finest resort facilities, a spectacular amusement park, and succulent seafood. All this and more await you on Isle Delfino. Come relax and let us refresh your body and spirit.
That shadow! Those were ridiculous.
And that's how this game starts. I put so many hours into this game, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Hopefully this playthrough will go relatively smoothly. I think it'll still take a bit. You gave me hate with every atom in your body? Oh, I'm so sorry. But hi, welcome on in. I guess we'll start a new file. I think the settings should be good from last time. Rumble off and subtitles on. Actually, let's have Rumble on. And then we'll get started. I fully concede this is definitely like an acquired taste kind of game. Again, I grew up with it, so I think that explains a lot.
What happened? What's this icky paint-like goop? It's moving!
Now, boys, don't touch that stuff.
Excuse me, but... Huh?
I am most concerned with the well-being of the princess in this dreadful heat. Master Mario, if you would, cross over to that shore and find some assistance.
Mario, be careful, I have a bad feeling about this. Alright, so I do have it set to inverted. I was kind of experimenting last night because I wasn't sure which control setup to use. It's a little unwieldy, oddly enough. Anyway, here's F.L.U.D.
Power-up complete. Thank you for purchasing this item from GAD Science Incorporated. Preparing to register customer information. Scanning and classifying subject data. Subject identified as Mario, resident of the Mushroom Kingdom. Data storage complete. I am F.L.U.D, a flash liquidizer ultra-dowsing device. I hope to be of assistance. Proceeding with user instruction. Use the button to shoot water from my tank. If you press the button, you can stop and shoot. You can then use the stick to aim in any direction. Press the X button to switch to the hover nozzle. You can then press the button to hover in the air for a short time. If this tank is empty, no water can be sprayed. To refill tank, enter a body of water and press the button. Instructions complete. Proceed.
It's genuinely weird how they just removed the button names. So it feels very choppy. It's definitely a choice I do not agree with. Oddly enough, you can use a GameCube controller for this game if you so desire. There are definitely pros and cons to that. In some ways, I do like the Pro Controller for this game. The main downside is no analog triggers, so you have to actually have separate buttons for like the full press or not. So that would be one benefit of using a GameCube controller. The problem is I don't have an adapter for it. I know like the Mayflash adapter would work for this. I've thought about picking one up for other reasons as well, like PC. But I've legit never gotten around to it for whatever reason. Anyway, that's our first stage. That one was quick and easy, mostly just cutscene. And speaking of which, we're gonna get a lot more cutscene right away, actually. This game is very front-loaded with its story.
Quite an unusual device. Is it some sort of pump?
I am F.L.U.D. Glad to meet you. Hey, someone's coming.
Court is now in session.
As you are no doubt aware, someone has been senselessly defacing fair Isle Delfino using some paint-like substance. The accused is charged with polluting our beautiful home, and yes, endangering our very way of life. Indeed, how can one not be aware of what is going on? Though it is daytime in Delfino Plaza, our poor residents tremble beneath a veil of darkness. Expert Shine scholars have determined that this darkness has arisen because all of our guardians, the Shine Sprites, have vanished from their gathering spot at the Shine Gate. The reason? It's quite obvious. This horrible graffiti is to blame. Behold this sketch of the perpetrator based on eyewitness descriptions. The truth is obvious. The guilty party sits among us. It is none other than Mario.
Objection!
Overruled. I judge the defendant guilty as charged. I hereby order the defendant to clean this entire island. Until Isle Delfino is completely free of his vile handiwork, Mario shall not be allowed to leave. Court adjourned.
This appears to be quite a predicament, Mario. Data analysis verifies that the island's inhabitants are indeed troubled by pollution, but the pollution itself is not the main problem. Mario, you witnessed this object at the airstrip, correct? It is a Shine Sprite. Shine Sprites are the source of power on Isle Delfino. They used to gather in great numbers at the Shine Gate, but the graffiti incident has polluted the island and most of the Shine Sprites have fled. There is no longer any power to support the peaceful lifestyle of the islanders. It is most pitiable. The only way to ensure the return of the Shine Sprites is to keep the island from becoming any dirtier. The perpetrator is likely at work even as we speak. And you, Mario, are being treated as a criminal. Tomorrow we must do our best to resolve this situation.
Alright, that's like most of the story we'll have.
Wait, you can't miss the mess now. Your first job's to get rid of all that ugliness. And remember, we'll be watching you, pal. We'll know if you start slacking off.
Like, I straight up think there's only like 3 more cutscenes in the entire game. And one of them is after this first set piece here. Anyway, this is Al Delfino, our main hub. Yeah, I think this game actually controls really well. There are choices made in it that are very bad. But again, this game means a lot to me. And it's definitely one of those games where it's like, I kind of want to play it, and I hopefully will make the game look easy, because I have so much experience with the game. We'll see if that actually happens, though. Because this game still throws me for a loop sometimes, even though I do think I'm pretty decent at it. There's definitely things that'll cause problems.
Princess, look! On the statue's head!
Anyway, this is Shadow Mario. He is her, kind of our main antagonist of the game, really. Totally mysterious. No one knows who he is, obviously, at this point. Drawing little fake M's everywhere. It always struck me funny how Sonic and Mario both had, like, imposter plotlines at the same time, with, like, Shadow in SA2. Which again, would actually hit GameCube not too long after this, so the Dreamcast version would have been a little bit first. Ow, 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 not fair. Completely unfair. You shouldn't be allowed to use tools like that. He literally is using a tool like that. Anyway, all we have to do is follow him over to the statue, and he'll open up a warp to our first actual level, which is Bianco Hills. So we're gonna open up by spraying it with water and hop on in. I hope everyone's doing well today. Again, happy Trans Day of Visibility. So this first stage is interesting. This game is very linear, which is one of the main, like, central complaints about this game that people tend to have. This is actually one of the only levels in the game that has any major deviation from, like, being, like, what am I trying to say? Being able to skip a stage and go out of order. So, like, Mario 64, you can mostly play out of order. This game, you mostly have to go in order, which is, like, one of the main, like, downsides of it. And frankly, like, there's an increasing linearity problem with 3D Mario, after this point, to be blunt. But yeah, you can skip this first shiny sprite. It's actually really easy to do so, if you so desire. But we'll go in order. This is going to likely be a 100% playthrough. I totally will not regret that decision in, like, 3 weeks from now. But again, it is partly because, one, I love this game, and two, I just kind of want to, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just wanting to show off and, like, do a really self-indulgent playthrough of a game from my childhood. I was actually torn because there's a story about this game and also the next game I want to do for the series, which I actually might start, like, pretty soon. Like, maybe not this Wednesday because of Switch 2 Direct, so I might just react to that instead. But I might try to do the other half of this particular set of games next Wednesday, if all goes well, and do both at the same time. So, like, my family got a GameCube around Christmas 2002, I want to say. That sounds about right. And then I would get this game as a gift in 2003. So, fun story, I'm adopted. I don't know if everyone knows that, but hi, if this is the first time you're hearing that, surprise. But, basically, my family would also celebrate that day too. So, I got this game and one other game that we'll be covering, soonish for that day, which, conveniently, I arrived in the US on, Valentine's Day, 1996, so very easy to remember. So yeah, I got that game. I might as well just say what it is. It's Pikmin. So yeah, we'll likely start Pikmin before too long, because I'm kind of itching to play that again. Both these games are like some of my most replayed games of all time. Like, I've sunk so many hours and so many playthroughs into these games, to the point where I feel pretty competent in them in a way that's like... I don't know what that's... I think that says more about me than the games, to be honest, because, like, I will not defend a lot of things in Sunshine, but I still love this game. Like, one cool thing you can do is actually use the, like, actual, like, blades of the windmill and wall jump up. Like, instead of riding the windmill, you can just do this, basically. I'm not good at it, I'm not, like, a speedrunner or anything, but, like, that is a viable option, is all I'm saying. Yeah, I'm off angle, but again, just to show that off a little bit, I paid for my, my overconfidence immediately. I actually kind of misspoke earlier. Story cutscenes, I need to specify, there are more cutscenes. The next two bosses both have cutscenes. One in this stage and one in the next. Yeah, again, much to, in a way that will definitely not backfire at all. I definitely, kind of wanted to stream this game to show off a little bit, because again, it is one I feel fairly comfortable with, even though, we will definitely have some snafus from time to time. This will not be like a deathless playthrough, or even a smooth playthrough of some of the Shine sprites later on. But again, I'll do my best to put on a show, I suppose. This is Petey Piranha, everybody's favorite GameCube era Mario character, who totally got overplayed to the point where he kind of just disappeared for a bit, and then suddenly Petey's back, because it had been so long. It's like they brought him back now, and it's like, oh hey, Petey's back, and it's like a big deal. He's in Mario Kart 8 and Tour, I think, as a playable character. And yeah, it was a big deal when they finally brought him in, because he had been so absent through like the late Wii onwards. Again, a lot of that does just play into oversaturation of characters. I mean, some argue Rosalina's the same way, but you know, I have so much personal attachment to like Sunshine and also Galaxy that I never really felt that way about either character. Like, they're just kind of fun characters. I like Rosalina a lot, but we'll get to that eventually. Galaxy's on the list. It's very funny where Galaxy might fall, to the point where I was talking to a friend about, like, maybe arbitrarily padding out the list a little bit, just to try to get Galaxy to a very specific number, if you know, you know. But this game is also really weird, because instead of being based on shine count, it's based on which stages you actually finish. Which is very different than 64, which has a non-linearity to it, where it's like, you can do any, like, 60 stages you want, and then still beat the game. Or is it 70? I forget. Yeah, it's 70. So there's a really funny trick in this stage. This is guarding Mika Harbor, which is our next stage. But there's a fun little gimmick here that I want to show off. So a lot of, like, speedrunners will do this. They will literally fight this, like, Goop Piranha all the way back here for a very specific reason, and I'll do my best to try to show this off because it's very cool looking if I get this. So, this is for a cutscene skip, I'll just say that now. I'm not an expert. Also, by the way, because of the trigger sensitivity, it has a little bit more startup, because on an actual GameCube controller, you can full press and it'll immediately start up. But because of the way this is set up on a Switch controller, there is a little bit of startup on the actual spray, which is a little annoying. So, like, you can actually enter this next... You can actually, like, re-enter Bianco Hills and do a cutscene skip. I was not fast enough. But yeah, you can actually re-enter Bianco Hills and skip that cutscene. You'll just... Like, the camera will freak out a bit, but you'll just immediately warp to that level. But I didn't want to do that level yet. I want to jump back to, this level. This whole playthrough is going to be really oddly structured, by the way, to the point where I don't even know how I'm structuring it entirely, to be blunt. Which is kind of just a problem with Sunshine in general, to be fair. The biggest hurdle is obviously the blue coins, everyone's favorite mechanic in this game, and we will talk about that later, but I'm not really worried about them at the moment. This is a very notorious level, I think for a first-time player, because it is the first Floodless stage, so occasionally Shadow Mario will just take Flood from you. You're supposed to actually use like tight ropes and platform up. You can just wall jump. So again, I'll try to show off stuff like this when I can. I do know a lot of the tricks in this game, though I've never actually done a full speedrun. Maybe someday I should. The main issue keeping me from speedrunning is I don't know Gelato Skip, which is like a skip for a couple stages ahead, where you can basically skip to the end, because the gimmick of Sunshine is, instead of being based on shine count, it's based on finishing shine 7 of every world. So hypothetically, all you need to do is clear that one mission, and then you have like an endgame check. So in Gelato Beach, in Gelato Beach, and you can actually like get the 8th shine right away, which unlocks all the rest. Because you can do that, you basically can skip most of that world. Again, here I am trying to like show off, and I immediately kick the bucket, because of course I do. Again, just because I feel confident in this game doesn't mean this will be like a deathless playthrough or anything like that. We will definitely die a lot in this playthrough. Plus, like, controller sensitivity. I'm, like, not entirely used to playing this on a Switch controller for obvious reasons. So I definitely need to take that into consideration for, like, analog dead zones and stuff. And not, like, get overly cocky. Like, the GameCube controller has these, like, little, like, grooves on it that I feel like mean my hand doesn't slip off as much. But it's a little slidey on a Pro controller. Which for some things feels a little scary, like that. Like, I can blame the controller as much as I want, however, I'm still screwing up a lot here. Again, normally I wouldn't be so, like, you know, trying to go after all the 1-ups and everything. Because of just how I'm playing, I'm like, yeah, I should get the 1-ups. I'm gonna skip this 1-up though, because I think I'll die more often than not. We'll just finish the stage. Move on. That took way too long, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, it's partly just getting used to this, like, controller again. For this game. Again, that's a big caveat, by the way, is for this game. Because I do feel like there's the inherent, like, issue of the controller sensitivity not being right. Hi Marcus, welcome on in. That's a very cute emote. I really want a Lurk emote. I have someone in mind for it, but their commissions aren't open at the moment. As soon as their commissions are open, I'll definitely consider that though, because I think that'd be really cute to have as a concept. Little fox speaking out. Well, hope you're doing well. Hope everyone's doing well. Again, happy Trans Day of Visibility to all who partake. Or just, again, I almost played like a trans game today. Or like made a thing of like, oh, let's just play all trans games today. But two things. One, a lot of them are really long, of the ones I have. And two, a lot of them are games I want to save for this Fox Girls Favorites series, but in order. So, obviously Celeste counts for both. Hi JB, welcome on in, and thank you for the hydration check. We'll get to that in a moment. However, what was I saying? Yeah, a lot of them are just like, they will come up later in this Fox Girls Favorites series, so I want to save them for the appropriate time to sort of cover the trans journey part of my life, which this obviously we'd be jumping ahead quite a bit. I know I don't need to be so like perfectionist about this. I can just play whatever the hell I want, in all fairness. However, it is a case of like, I do kind of want to go in order to keep like a timeline going of like progression of like the games I played. Again, the next one, for example, will really tie into that idea. Again, that being Pikmin, because as you've noticed with this series so far, a lot of them have been licensed games with like the BizHawk Shuffler we did a couple weeks ago. And also, a lot of them have been Mario, because as a kid, I mostly just played Mario games or licensed games. I was really weird about, like, I don't want to play anything I'm not already familiar with, which is an attitude I regret deeply in hindsight, just because it did keep me from experiencing a lot of games in my childhood until much later. Which is part of the reason why nowadays I'm so insistent on, like, broaden your horizons with games. Like, you know, obviously I can't tell you what to do, it's your life and your money. But I do tend to try to encourage, like, trying to play a variety of games, like indies, games from different companies, because it is a problem I see a lot where a lot of gamers just like stick with one style of game and that's it. By the way, that's a shine up there that's still loaded in, and you have to like ground pound that, but we obviously can't get that at the moment. But because I was so closed off for a lot of my life, I do kind of encourage people to branch out, to like diversify the games they play, because if you just stick with like Nintendo, you're gonna miss out on like Ratchet and Clank, or, well, basically just Ratchet and Clank now for me. I like the Spider-Man games, I like Insomniac's output in general, but this PlayStation gen has really not been for me, I'm gonna be honest. It's been pretty lackluster. I mean, like, Switch has had so many IPs get revived, which has been really nice. Again, getting a new Rhythm Heaven announced, and like, Tomodachi Life is great. We are missing a lot of big IPs, or like, not big, but like the AA IPs from Nintendo. The main two that always come up are Star Fox and F-Zero, unfortunately. To the point where it's like, why does Nintendo always abandon their old IPs? It's like, it's not even that necessarily, but it's like specific IPs they prioritize depending on if they have someone to work on them. Like, for example, Yoshio Sakamoto, in the past has done Tomodachi Life, and he also got a new Famicom Detective Club this gen, so it's like, I think, you know, post Other M, he's actually had a pretty good run, I'd say. Big asterisk on post Other M, because that game sure was something. But it is a case of, like, Nintendo, relative to other companies, is actually shockingly good at supporting their old IPs, but it is just a case of, like, they tend to just wait for a time when there's a passionate, like, developer who wants to pick up the torch on something, which unfortunately has not really been the case for F-Zero or Star Fox. You know, Miyamoto's kind of shifted his focus elsewhere, like the Mario movie and Pikmin and stuff like that. So Star Fox doesn't really have anyone to, like, push for it anymore. And F-Zero also doesn't really have anyone to push for it, which is why I legitimately think those franchises tend to be in limbo more than others. Again, a lot of the old revivals are just like, oh, you know, like Rhythm Heaven is partly just the composer had cancer, so they just made a crap ton of WarioWare. You know, Tomodachi Life, again, it makes sense if Sakamoto is still working on it, because, you know, he was doing a lot of Famicom Detective Club for a while, which to him was just like a passion project. And like the funny part is, like, everyone who played Emio says it's like amazing. I have not played Emio because I haven't played Famicom Detective Club, like the remakes of them, but I have heard nothing but good things about Emio from those who played it, because it was very under the radar. Like last year or 2 years ago, I think it was last year. Because there was like the teaser of the guy with like a bag over his head, and I was like, oh my god, what is this, like, horror game? And it's just a Famicom Detective Club, which I was kind of impressed is still kicking as much as it is. Fun story, I think the main character, or at least like female character of Famicom Detective Club was originally going to be in Melee, and actually does still have a trophy in Melee. What the hell is PD? I legit lost track of him because I went to refill water. Oh, there he is. So, yeah. It's kind of like, you know, Nintendo relatively is actually pretty decent about their old IPs. It's just like specific IPs that tend to not get as much love as others, unfortunately. It's one of those cases of it's like if you're the type who is really excited for Tomodachi Life, then yeah, they're doing a great job. Otherwise, it's like, if you're more into like core Nintendo, I almost feel like this gen has been a bit of been hit and miss, I'd say. I still think the Switch's output is some of the best I've ever seen from a first party, partly just because this generation was ungodly long. That definitely helps. But also just in general, like, Nintendo's output has been really remarkable in an industry that has generally slowed down significantly from where it used to be. Like, it is bogged down pretty bad, I'd say, just because development pipelines have gotten really long. Whether they'll keep that up for Switch 2 remains to be seen, but I guess we'll get a little hint of that on Wednesday. I'm not sure what to expect. Part of me almost wanted to make like... Where am I going? We have to go back to Bianco Hills. Part of me wanted to make like a bingo card or something, but I ended up like forgetting. Part of me wanted to just spend some time talking about predictions today, but I kind of forgot again. So I guess as we go through episode 6 here, I can talk about that. I have no expectations. This is part of the reason I didn't do anything on it, is I don't have any expectations for this. I don't really have any big hopes for this. I just want to go into it, like, not giving a damn, and hoping to come out of it on the other side, like, happy with what is being shown. Like, maybe that's like a oddly optimistic attitude, but that's just kind of where I'm at with, like, gaming in general, is, like, I'm not really wanting anything, if that makes sense. I just want good games, but I don't really need specific... I don't really have specific needs I want met with gaming at the moment. I mean, like, you know, Thousand Year Door, for example, that was such a pipe dream game. That's like, when that finally got announced, it's like, sick. You know, that's like probably the most I've ever, like, actually been emotional over a Nintendo Direct was Thousand Year Door remake, like, straight up. I mean, a lot of people were, let's be real. But yeah, that was like the most choked up I've ever been by a Nintendo Direct. And that was like one of those once in a lifetime things where it's like, I don't think I'm ever getting anything like that again from a game. Like, I don't even know what would give me that reaction is the problem. Like, I legit have no idea what would choke me up like that. Literally no clue. By the way, this level was glitched when All-Stars came out. You could actually see the pathing with blocks. It is not meant to be that way. You are not supposed to see that. So yeah, they actually did commit to patching this game, which is like the weirdest thing to me, because like, why are you patching a game like twice with a bunch of fixes and new features? Like, they added support for like the N64 NSO controller and the GameCube adapter like well after launch, and it's like, literally, why are you patching this game? You're taking it down in like a month. Like, I'm glad they made this the best product they could, but it's also just like, why? Like, why are you getting rid of this game if you're dedicating resources to patching it? It's like, Nintendo's so weird sometimes. I was gonna say something, I'm gonna shut the hell up. I don't want to jinx myself. I was almost gonna say something, I'm like, no, I know me. I should just stop talking. There we go. Now I can say it. Wow, that made up for how god-awful the first cave secret was. Because of the hillside cave secret, because that was a dumpster fire of a run. So, like, genuinely happy that that went a lot better. Slightly mad that went a lot better too, given how hard that stage is by comparison. But it's fine. I'm trying to decide how to approach this, because we have like how many shine sprites? Like 7. So this will be 8, right? So hypothetically, I could get up to 10 here and then just skip ahead, which I might do in order to unlock Yoshi ASAP. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to unlock Yoshi as soon as possible. Which means we will do the red coin secrets. Like red coin secret stages next, probably. Alright, I'll remember this. Sure you will. I don't like how you have to slowly wait for the shine sprite to drop in these stages. That's one gripe I have with these. Alright, so far so good. Up to 8 shines, so I guess we'll hop back in and just do a couple more. Hey, fun problem that we have. Remember how I talked about how I don't remember everything about this game? Where the hell are the red coins in these stages? I don't know. I'm gonna kind of just BS my way through and hope for the best, because... Oh wait, red coins of the lake. I forgot this one's next. I accidentally skipped the cutscene and everything. Actually, you know what? Given the amount of time we have, I think I am gonna take care of the hillside secret, because I think it actually makes more sense to save the 8th shine, because we can do stuff with Yoshi in that level. So yeah, I think it actually makes more sense to go back first. But yeah, routing this game is gonna be really interesting. But yeah, basically there are some red coins, or blue coins, that are only in levels with Yoshi. So what that means is, we actually can't get those until we unlock Yoshi in Peanut Park, episode 4. So typically the way I play Sunshine is I prioritize unlocking Peanut Park ASAP. Because then I can get Yoshi, and then I can get everything, like, relatively in order. Oftentimes in the past, I also save blue coins till the end. I think I'll lose my mind if I do that on stream. Like, I think everyone else will lose their minds if I do that on stream as well. So we are going to get the blue coins as we go along, I think. So, like, the next hour after the ad break and everything, it might be a lot of blue coins, I'm gonna be honest. Because, like, Bianca Hills might take a bit for the blue coins. Yeah, we have a minute to get 8 red coins. Again, hell if I remember where they are. But this one isn't too bad. This one's pretty straightforward. We do get F.L.U.D. for this, so we don't have to, like, totally suffer. Just partially suffer. Wow, that was a crush kill. That doesn't happen much in Sunshine. Like, with the way levels are set up, like, I feel like you don't get crushed very often. Like, legit, that feels rare. Yeah, I regret my decision to not get a GameCube adapter in this exact moment. Because, I am having a time with some of these inputs. Like, if we can get through a couple shines in particular deathless, I'll be very happy. But I'm really not counting on it, given my current performance is not the best. And we'll probably get the one up at the end, just because I have F.L.U.D. this time, so I don't have to worry as much about dying. Oh shit, that's not a spin jump. That's a spin jump. There we go. No problem. Second try. Mild stress, but we're good. Ow. Okay. Didn't even take fall damage there. Nice. By the way, 1-ups actually restore your water too. So, that's also very good. Also, don't pick up the wrong shine by accident. I think I've done that before. And that means you have to do the entire stage again. So, yeah, don't do that. Please. The other big issue with the structure of Super Mario Sunshine is because it's based on finishing episode 7, there's like a ton of shrines in Delfino Plaza. Why do you have to get these if they don't actually do anything for you? So yeah, the progression of this game is kind of weird. I didn't mean to select stage 8 again, god damn it. It's fine, we can do this one, because like, we have to come back here anyway for the 100 coins. We can get all the coins in one run. Yeah, I think that's how we'll approach this. Hey, only one problem. Where the hell are the red coins in this stage? I don't know if I remember, so this will be fun. So yeah, you have the Super Mario Sunshine style 100 coin challenge too. They suck in this game. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I do not like the 100 coin shines. Like, I will defend a lot of things in Sunshine. Maybe not even defend. Maybe that's not even the right word. Again, this is a game that means a lot to me. That will not mean I won't criticize aspects, and the 100 coins do tend to have one really glaring flaw of you have to get them in specific levels in some cases. There are legitimately not enough coins in specific stages, so you have to like enter a specific one. But that actually goes into another problem for me. Well, not a problem, the opposite of a problem. Something that actually helps me compared to other players is on the same day, I'm pretty sure that I got the game, I also got the player's guides, the official Nintendo Power player's guides for both Sunshine and Pikmin, both. So I used to have a lot of the Nintendo Power guides for the games I enjoyed. One of my fondest memories was Partners in Time, actually. I don't actually like Partners in Time that much, which is the irony of the story. But for some reason, as a present, I actually got the guidebook for Partners in Time before I got the actual game. It's like, whether it was like a holiday thing or like just it wasn't available for a bit, I don't remember. But either way, I just kind of studied that guidebook. So, Partners in Time I think is a game that does throw people off. Like, it is not an easy game, I would say. But because I just studied the guide like meticulously, I feel like I had fewer issues with it than some. Again, sort of an odd way to approach games, and I think that's also why I have my weird spoiler vibe now. Like something interesting about me is I don't usually care about spoilers that much. Like, I'm not... I was gonna say, I don't go out of my way to avoid spoilers, which is... Yeah, that's true. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, that is true. I don't really avoid spoilers. Like... Sometimes I actively seek out spoilers, as like, wild as that might sound, just because that's how not spoiler-averse I am, and I do think that stems from like growing up with Nintendo Power guides, and just like, studying them so I know how to play the game. It's just how I approach games. It's a little bit weird compared to how other people approach it, but they want to have like a really, pure first experience, no advanced knowledge on anything. They just get to experience everything as they go. And then me, I've always just been like, okay, but what if I can just first try everything? This was me with like Final Fantasy 6 and 7 both, where it's like I level grinded so much in both games. I have a story where I got like, I literally did like constant runs of the Gold Saucer, like arena, because I wanted ribbons for every character, because I heard like, oh, the final boss of 7 causes status effects. So I was like, I don't want to mess with that garbage, I'm just gonna get ribbons for everybody. So the final boss of 7 was extraordinarily anticlimactic to me. Meanwhile, you have the remakes that are very cheese-proof, much to my dismay, honestly, because, God, some of the fights in Remake take way too long in my opinion. Like, I like Remake enough, but I definitely think a couple boss fights could stand to be a little bit shorter. I'm not gonna lie. Again, not like a huge deal, but definitely something that's like, not really a fan of that. I wish I could speed this up a little bit. A weird thing with Remake, by the way, they actually added in like an easier mode. Like, there's already difficulty options, but they literally added a catch-up option, I think is what they called it, which is literally like, you start at like level 40 or something, just to help you get through the game faster. And I think they specifically added it before Rebirth. So like, if you wanted to catch up on Remake before Rebirth came out, but didn't want to like actually level grind, it's weird.
That is Peanut Island. The villain's secret hideout must be there.
The irony of triggering that cutscene is we do not have time before the ad break. We have 7 minutes. 7 minutes is all we can spare. So, I'm actually going to go back to Bianca Hills, I think, and try to do the Dirty Lake secret. I think that's the best course of action. I don't know if I can do that in 6 minutes. That's not, going to be the easiest thing in the world to do, and I will probably die in the process of rushing this stage more than I should. But I will give it a try. But again, we do have to come back here anyway for the 100 coins, and then we'll get the blue coins while we're there. That could easily be the rest of the stream, frankly. But I do have a map up. I, again, found a PDF of the official Nintendo Power Guide, which I still, again, have a physical of. It's in real bad shape. One guide I don't have, and I lament not having, is Thousand Door. I don't have that guide anymore, and I don't know what happened to it. It probably got lost in a move or something, but it's like, oh, that's a shame. I love Thousand Door. It's like my second favorite game of all time, and was my favorite game of all time for like 20 years. Damn, I said that as like a just rough guess. It actually would be 20 years, huh? 2004 to 2024. So yeah, it actually straight up would be 20 years. That's not even true, actually. My favorite game changed a couple times. It went to Wind Waker for a bit, actually. Though I actually don't know if I'd say Wind Waker anymore, just because that game does have a lot of fundamental flaws. Mostly, I think a lot of the dungeons are kind of bad in Wind Waker. It's like, I love that game. Yeah, a lot of the dungeons are rough in that one. But the other thing is with, what am I trying to say? With, Thousand Door, the actual time I was, like, really sure, okay, this is my game of the year, or, like, game of all time, was actually Xenoblade 3. That was, well, we might as well just die here, actually, just so saving that run. But yeah, Xenoblade 3 is a game that resonated with me at such an emotional, like, level. I loved all the characters, well, main characters at least. I loved the overall theming, Future Redeemed is great. I just really enjoyed, like, most of Xenoblade 3. Again, not perfect by any means, I definitely do agree with a lot of the complaints in the game. And it definitely helped to, like, shake up my, like, view on a lot of things, too. So it's a game that, in a way, like, Xenoblade 2 is another one I actually kind of owe a lot to, like, in terms of my personal journey. Like, when I played it, like, in my life, it definitely hit really hard, and actually hits harder in hindsight a few things. Like, there's literally things I didn't like in Xenoblade 2 that, like, I've changed my mind on in the last couple years. I will talk about them someday, whether it's here or, again, potentially on Starstream. There's a high possibility of me bringing that up there. Whenever she gets to that particular part that I'm referring to, which will probably be a bit, in all fairness. Why am I like this? I am living dangerously. Okay. Shit. Bad time for an ad break. Okay, this is gonna be awkward. This is really awkward. I don't know what's gonna happen here. Okay, we're good. We're alive. Second try, not bad. I'll take it. Nice, nice. Alright, that was very stressful. Again, that one is very high intensity, I would say. Compared to some. But again, this is like a weird order for me. Normally I don't do the bonus shines until much later. Normally I just stick to the main 7. And then come back for everything, but again, I think if we save everything till the end, it's going to be a really slow playthrough. So I'm gonna try to get things like gradually throughout. But again, first priority is unlocking all the upgrades, which means we should go to Peanut Park. However, I don't think we'll do that now. I think we will go to the ad break first, because we have a pretty, like decently long level because of cutscenes. So we'll save this for the ad break, for after the ad break. Try to position on top of the cannon. Actually, I should start farming 1-ups. Since this will be a 100% playthrough, I will die a lot on some of these levels. It's really fascinating, my style of like commentary when I'm playing a game I'm like, you know, acutely familiar with. It's like I definitely can info dump on Mario Sunshine quite a bit. Yeah, we'll just chill up here for a little bit, and then we'll come back and continue on.